This is the Ricoh GR IIIx, and it's about to go on its first photography challenge.
With the Sony A7IV.
Here are the rules. Rule number 1, we battle it out in 3 rounds, each with different photography themes. Rule number 2, we can take as many photos as we can for each round, but once we select our final submission, we move on to the next round. Rule number 3, we ask our followers to vote on their preferred photo. The person with the least number of votes will have a consequence in our next collaboration video. So now I know what you're thinking about. Who is this girl? So meet Josie, a photographer based here in Hong Kong, and she's going to introduce us to the first challenge.
So our first challenge is colored themes. Our goal is to have at least 2 dominant colors. You know, you could shoot with any subjects you like.
Okay, so as we talked about the challenge, Josie was like, oh, I already found my shot, man. She's such a pro.
No, I'm not.
How was it?
Yeah, that was good.
So is that your submission, or you want to shoot for more?
Yeah, we could shoot for more.
With Josie bagging away a banger almost immediately, I felt like my time in primary school learning colors suddenly didn't pay off.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure now because her shot was really good.
And I mostly just took basic shots while Josie was already contemplating if she will lock in for the round.
So which shot are you going to lock in?
Oh no, I kind of like both shots though.
Oh, but you need to choose one.
Oh, wait, give me a moment.
So she locked in her photo already, so you chose that one? The
Yeah, I
kid?
think I'll go with the kid.
Okay,
Yeah.
so emotional connection
Yeah.
with the kid then.
Yeah, I think like the grandpa was nice, but I felt like it's just too direct. I felt like the kid, where I caught her very spontaneously, like she was posing like that, looking at me fiercely. Yeah, I kind of like that more.
Now it's my turn and can't help but compare with what Josie locked in, so I figured to stick to a composition and do what hopeless romantics do. Wait for the one.
I found this shot where the building is like colored blue, which I thought if someone with a colorful shirt passed by, it would be a nice composition. Okay, so I think I'm locking this in just because it looks like a very street symmetrical type of vibe. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that photo is gonna lose and she's going to take round 1, but we have 2 more rounds. Now that we've both locked in for challenge number 1, and Josie is going to pick a compositional rule for us to follow.
I think like I want to use background like as a framing subject.
So frame of a frame. As we just agreed on the rule, she found her shot already.
Now that we're deep into the challenge and about to take a break first to recharge ourselves, it's time to introduce the final rule to keep the stakes of the challenge high.
The person who loses, they're gonna wear a costume and then go out and shoot wearing the costume. While wearing the costume.
Public humiliation. I found my first shot, which is just literally beside me. I was using this window to frame the streets and then just wait for people to pass by.
The initial shots were interesting, but we know it could be a lot better, so we didn't lock in to find better framing. And Josie suddenly felt a bit insecure on what she's coming up with as compared to what I have already taken.
Man, like the shot you did a while ago, it was so good. I'm feeling threatened, but you know, we're gonna stay confident. So those bamboos a while ago, they look kind of nice, but I think like not enough lighting. So I think I'll keep on looking and look for structures that is gonna form like a square shape, like to box my subject in. So I'm still looking, still not, you know, not very solid.
This round was becoming intense as we have to showcase our composition strengths, so I looked for framing that appeared less obvious.
Okay, so using the mirror as a framing, I think these are not bad.
These are threatening me right now.
Okay, so I think I'm going to lock that mirror reflection shot. So now we just need to wait for Josie to find her own banger.
Don't give me more pressure.
Josie continued to face some more struggles finding the right framings,
Reflection is too much. He moved. Never mind.
and as she was already feeling demotivated,
Nope.
she found an interesting moment by the wet markets.
Do I go back for the shot?
You can go back and just smile at him if he looks at you.
What I'm gonna do now is I've seen this like colorful shops, so I'm gonna utilize the 2
Fighting.
shops to kind of make like a square frame.
She missed focus, I think.
Things happen. Things like
Yeah.
that happen.
I think she left it on manual focus, so her subject was a bit blurry. That one is a nice shot though.
Lady luck is not on my side, but I kind of like the shot I took despite it not being in focus. Okay, I'm gonna lock my shots in.
Before we move on to the final challenge, we were having a lot of fun just chatting and sharing some of our experiences, which I thought would benefit many of you to learn from other people and their styles. So let's take a moment to get to know Josie and her approach to photography.
So I'm actually an overseas Chinese who grew up in Philippines. I think like after I finished uni, I moved with my family to Hong Hong Kong. I'm a person who actually more into painting, drawing, but because I was in uni back then, I joined like an org, and I get the opportunities to tag along with them, go on photo walks, and then observe how they shoot. And then I kind of use it hand in hand with my painting. Like I will go to places and I find a scene very nice. I will take a shot of it, and then I will use that as my reference photos in painting. It was only until 2 years ago during COVID where I got the opportunity to shoot film photography. So every weekend I would take that point and shoot and just go to different places around in Hong Kong.
Okay, so judging by her Instagram feed, I know that her main focus is going to be on film. So any interesting comparisons in terms of your experience?
Film is actually the medium that made me fall in love with photography again. The main reason was like for film, you got limited number of shots. So you can either get 24 or 36 shots. And the thing is, you can't really see your shot immediately. So you actually have to finish the whole roll, get it developed, scan. That's when you see like, oh, did I take proper shots or did I just, wasted my whole roll, right? I thought like doing film after a while, I'm gonna be more intentional with digital, but no, because I was like, this is continuous shot. I need to make sure I get everything.
I noticed that your style is leaning more about the warm tones, and then you usually shoot in harsh lighting. So what sort of draws you in, and how do you define your style?
I don't really know how to pinpoint my style as well. I feel like it's like an ongoing process. The type of street I like to do is kind of, not disturbing my subject. I think the reason why is I like the element of anonymity, because you can actually tell a lot from the person's posture, from the person's clothing, and the surrounding they're in. So it leaves more space for the audience or viewer to interpret. And I like that. I find myself utilizing a lot of the concepts I know in art, so it kind of shows in my work as well.
Any street photography tips for beginners?
Actually, when I first started street photography, what was scary for me is to going out there and like take photos of strangers or like places that we're not familiar with. So what helped me a lot is I invite friends or go out with people who also shoot film, and then we would form a small group and then go to a certain place and kind of like explore around. So having that extra support, having another person doing the same thing with you, it kind of like leaves you less time to overthink yourself.
Go out with friends, guys. Socialize more.
But if you don't have friends, I think like, preparing a playlist of songs you actually like, having the music, you're grooving to the song, so it leaves less time for you to overthink.
So now that we both locked our photos for the second challenge, we move on to challenge number 3, which is more like a theme type of photo shoot.
So for the last challenge, we're going to do like a slow life in Hong Kong during the weekend.
Photographing a slow-paced Hong Kong might be a challenge because it is usually known as a fast-paced hustle and bustle type of city. So I had to know how Josie was going to approach the concept.
I think like I'm gonna look for some uncles in the park, them reading newspaper, basically uncles being uncles.
And true enough, Josie showed how she was very popular with handsome uncles and was a magnet for the relaxed people sitting around and bagged away multiple entries. For this challenge, I mostly just observed Josie's photography at first, as I couldn't really find any scenes that drew me in, and quite admired how she was able to quickly find subjects, and also gave me some insights that I had a lot to learn with regards to street photography. And just like that, her slump from challenge number 2 was over.
So she's locking this shot in.
No, this is one uncle and an auntie at the back.
And then,
so it's a little park or like a sitting area. And I always utilize the framing concept, right? So, applying everything we put in our challenge today.
I don't know if it was from the heat, but I really struggled and only took a handful of random photos. So I decided to lock in the best framing I could find so far.
So in this small playground, I applied every challenge rule that we've had. Framing, colors. Ooh, I think it's a nice shot. Okay, so now we can wrap up those 3 photo challenges.
So each of our followers could actually vote, and then we're gonna meet up during this week and then, kind of like tally.
So the votes are in and we've tallied them while we were eating Jollibee for dinner a while ago, and it's going to be a split decision across the 3 rounds. Which challenge did you find the most interesting?
So I think I find the last round, the story theme challenge, the most interesting, because not only do you have to consider basic composition, you actually have to think how to best portray a story.
And who won?
So surprisingly,
Surprisingly.
so I actually won with out of 80 votes, I got 69%.
Landslide victory. For the first challenge, the color theme, I actually found the results very surprising. And it's the blue and pink photo that I took that won. I actually honestly thought that you were going to bag that because of how I saw it in the actual shoot. Your framing was really nice, but probably the editing might have played a little bit of a role in the voting process.
No, I think like I also like your shot because remember, both my parents voted for you.
Thank you, uncle and auntie. And for the deciding round,
With 55% out of 106 votes, drumroll please, it was the mirror shot.
so Josie, which costume are you going to wear?
I still don't know. Guys, if you have any suggestions, feel free to type in the comment section.
Okay, but honestly, I think it could have gone either way. So I think I'm going to call this a tie, actually. And we'll volunteer to wear a costume with you while we get publicly humiliated.
Together.
Okay, so I think that's it for today. So thanks for watching and hopefully you had fun. So go follow Josie, very, very talented photographer, and I'll see you next time.